What's up, guys? It's Not Your Ordinary Barber with N.Y.O Barbershop.
What's up, guys? It's CT Barber here speaking with you guys.
Today we are at the Heartbreakers event here in Brooklyn. We got Sal from Sal's Barbershop here in the building.
What's up,
I'm,
y'all?
I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about what he's got going on. And I mean, I see this guy everywhere. Every competition, he's in there. He does more than one category all the time. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself and talk a little bit about himself real quick.
Okay, guys. My name's Sal. I'm from Philadelphia. I own 9 barbershops. I own 9 barbershops in the Philadelphia suburbs. It wasn't always that easy. I mean, I had a rough life. I got 18 years without a drug or a drink.
Wow.
I'm a fierce competitor when it comes to barber competitions. Um, I'm a 30-time winner, including 5 in CT.
He said
Um,
30.
Yeah. And I'm here today in New York because I ain't never won in New York. So I came to do something that means a lot to me. Because,
You came to get it.
Yeah, I came to get it. I mean, I manifest my destiny. There was a time where I didn't have dinner. I didn't know what was what. You know what I mean? I was a drug addict. I was smoking crack, eating out of trash cans. And, I knew I was better than that. And it was time to, realize my potential. So I asked my grandfather, who was a barber for 50 years, I asked him to teach me how to cut hair. And the rest is history. I mean, he taught me. He passed away. He never got to see me open my own shop.
Wow.
My grandfather never had his own shop. So I opened my first shop in his memory, and I've opened 9 more after that. So I opened 10 total shops.
Wow.
9 are in operation right now.
Wow.
What I know you said your grandfather was the one who inspired you, but what inspires you to change from the old life you had to get into barbering to cleaning up and doing all of that?
Well, I guess in and out of jail 13 times, and you see people like using razors in jails, like makeshift razors in jail, just trying to like line themselves up. And I was already an artist, so it came kind of natural. The hand movements, it's a beautiful thing when you can create art with hair, and that's something I actually do really well with, like logos and designs. And I use heavy pop colors. That's something that I've been working with Miguel. Actually, he launched them. I was a big part of that. I was telling him, yo, you need reds, you need blues, you need greens for the guys that do designs like me. And he finally launched them, and I try to ambassador that for him as much as I possibly can, just because I enjoy doing art in people's hair.
Now, do you find it difficult to get models to do some of these designs you do in their hair, or what do you? How do you get
No,
it?
a lot of them are kids, man. They like 10 or 15 years old, But no, I mean, you have to have a fun personality to do that kind of stuff with your hair. And it's just hair, it grows back. I mean, I've seen some awesome hairstyles, man. Even like some of the best in the game, like Rob the Original and Los Cut It, when they do some of those freaky designs, it's like, whoa, like I would get that. You know what I mean? Like,
How long did it take you to do like all those designs and freestyles that you always do?
so I tried when I first started. I tried, and it's a lot easier to draw with a pencil or a pen.
And
When
what
you're
a clipper.
drawing, yeah, than when you with clippers. You have to actually cut out the opposite. If you want to leave a line, you gotta cut out around the line. So it's almost inverted. It's different. So what actually gets you better at it is if you use there's a type of paper. It's like carbon paper. You got black, and then when you cut it or you draw on it, it turns white. So you can actually that's a good way to learn. Um, Another thing I learned how to do is just like draw it with a white marker, and then or white like eyeliner, and then cut out around it, and it would leave what I want to leave for lines.
Well, what somebody taught me that so what I would do is take a pencil, I would shape the paper, You and draw with
Oh
the
yeah,
eraser.
and you draw with
the
the
eraser.
eraser. Yeah, I've seen people do that too.
And that was one way that's when they explained that to me. I was like, yo, bro, this is this.
So I think the most important thing about being a barber is to bring up the other barbers underneath you and bring up the barbers in the industry that are looking. Like I have a lot of people, not so much when I first started, but now I remember being that kid in the barber battle, afraid to talk to like Al Uppercut or Jay Majors. But now these guys are my friends. And I realized how simple and kind of stupid I was for not using my mouth to get what I want. Like you have to use your words. Like you know, squeaky wheel gets the oil, they say. So you got to talk to people. You got to say, hey, what should I be doing different? What can I do? Ivan Zoot is a good friend of mine. Jay Major is a good friend of mine. These are guys I could call, you know, and I could say, hey, do you think I should open the shop here? Or what do you think? Or, you know, I've been blessed to meet really great people in this industry that have mentored me since my grandfather's passed.
Wow, nice. We see you everywhere. So, like, which one is your favorite out of all of them?
So what's my favorite battle?
Yeah, like the competition.
Expo, battle, venue. Your favorite
Well,
one out of all of
I
them.
mean, I love CT. I love CT because CT was the first CT I went to was the 10th anniversary. That was right after the pandemic. And everybody was pent up. Everybody was like, and I came in there and I rocked the place, man. I rocked the place. My daughter, Lily, she rocked the place. And that means a lot to me, man. It was almost like a movie. It's getting me choked up even talking about it. Because me and my daughter, I know we. If you don't know, my daughter, her name's Lily. Her name's Laced by Lily on Instagram.
Yeah, we do know about her.
She just turned 10 years old. She'll be 11 in May. But she's been cutting hair since she was 6 years old. During the pandemic, I let her buzz my hair. And then I let her use scissors on her cousin's hair. And then I let her use the straight razor on my beard. But she was so good at each one that we just kept going to the next thing. So I'm like, fine, we're gonna do a skin fade next. So we
Now,
start.
for the very first time, did she ask you to like let you cut her hair?
Oh, so no. So what happened was I needed a haircut so bad because of the pandemic. And I said to my wife, come on, you're going to do my hair. So I'm not doing your hair. And she's 6 years old. She said, I'll do it, Daddy.
Okay.
So that was the rest of it. And, you know, I'm so proud of her. She can do skin fades. She's competed in CT, barber battles, Berks, all over the United States. She has 5 wins, including a professional. We got 3rd place in Philadelphia at the tag team. She was my partner.
That's what's up.
And we won it. We won it legitimate. We won it good, you know. There was 12 other teams and we won.
I remember that. That was like 2
We
years
did the
ago,
eagle.
right?
Yeah, we did the eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, she's 10 though, so it's kind of hard, you know, like I want her to enjoy it, do it when she wants to do it, but I also want her to have a life as a 10-year-old, you know, still.
Now, where do you? All right. So first off, let's go back real quick.
Yeah.
The pandemic happened, right?
Yeah.
How many barbershops did you own at that time?
I had 3 with I was opening 2 more in February and March. And when March happened, I had the 3. I didn't move forward with the other 2 yet. But after the pandemic, and we were allowed to go back to work at the end of June, it was the day after my birthday. We were allowed to go back to work. I had all these things already in place. And so I just went
Full blast.
full blast, man. I opened 3 times the amount of shops. I went from 3 to 10.
Wow. In a matter of 4 years.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, talk about that. A lot of people don't realize what goes into opening a shop or what goes into managing a barbershop. How is it possible? How do you do 10 of them?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It started the first one, I didn't know what to expect. I was scared, and everybody is. And I was worried. I was like, how I'm gonna make the rent. Is it gonna work? Are people gonna follow me from this barbershop? Now I'm gonna open my own. And they did. And the first day I made the rent. Like the first weekend I made the rent. And that felt so good. I was used to at the time, this is gonna tell you how old I am, but 15 years ago, I was doing $15 haircuts for 50%. So I was only making $7.50 plus $3 tip. So I was only making, but I would have to do 30 haircuts a day just to make like 1,500 a week.
And that's one of the things that we were discussing earlier. Like a lot of these guys have started to get into the industry after the pandemic. And I'm like, man, you guys are so lucky that first off, you have all these resources to learn. You have
Yes.
YouTube,
You have
got
YouTube.
Instagram.
Yes, you have better equipment.
Yes.
You have more people willing to take time in their day. You got podcasts.
Yes.
Everything, man. Think about it. We didn't have any of that shit.
And now they're walking into the industry where haircuts are minimum for 30, 40 bucks.
Well, a lot of guys need to check their ego at the door, I think, too. A lot of these guys that get out of school, they think they're going to charge $60 a haircut. Really, what they should do is focus on doing a good haircut first, building a clientele one by one by one, and to value the customer, because a lot of barbers, unfortunately, they think the customer needs them. You want to be a barber that a customer needs, not a barber that needs customers.
You're 100% right now. What advice would you give somebody that's thinking about opening a second shop or thinking about expanding?
Well, I try to have a structure business where I have two manager barbers or two senior barbers, including myself, to make decisions. Most of my barbershops are turnkey. I don't have to. Some of them I haven't been in 9 months. I haven't even been in those stores. My goal is to make money and give other people opportunity to make money. So I teach these guys how to cut hair, or my barbers teach them to cut hair, and then they're loyal to us. They're loyal to the brand. They build together, and it's easier to open when you have people of good quality. You're only as good as the people you have working with you. If you have a bunch of young kids that they want to go to the beach on a Saturday instead of going to work, you're not going to be in business not very long.
As a shop owner myself, I've found that it's always, and I found out on my own that it's better to train someone and mold them into the barber that you would like to see them, than it is to take a barber that's already individualized and
They
bring
say,
them into your shop. You know what I
they
mean?
say that you can't teaching old dog new tricks, right?
No, 100% right.
Once they
Or
get bad
habits.
habits, it's hard to change people. I know a lot of guys that they weren't used to sweeping up after they were done a haircut, but that that's that's the first thing you should do. It is hard to train people to do things the way you. And nobody's ever going to take your barbershop and treat it the way you want it to be treated. Nobody has the skin in the game except for you. So that's another problem. A lot of the time is you expect them to care as much as you do. They're not going to. Unfortunately, they're not going to. One day when I was a bad employee. I was a bad barber. No, listen, my feet were on the desk. I would come in late. I would go home early. I would take days off when I wasn't really sick. That all came back to me tenfold.
I mean, ultimately, at the end, the one that's losing is the barber. But if you have a bunch of bad barbers and a bunch of people, that are not looking to expand or get better, man, that's only going to bring your shop down.
Yeah.
So how do you, aside from training these employees and doing it that way, how do you pick and choose who your manager should be, who you should put in charge, and things like that?
Well, a lot of the time, the people that have positions of power with me, or at least positions of management, they're usually guys that I train myself.
For a long time.
They were my apprentice at one point. They know how I want it done, and they take it very seriously.
Right.
There are a lot of guys that I get out of school, that are good, but they lack certain things.
So how do you figure the transition, right? So they come out of school, they go into the shop. The transition from going to school into barbershop, that in between, right? The type of hair they don't get to cut in school, the styles that they don't see in school, the techniques. How do you go about getting
Well,
those barbers up to par?
it's the roughest time. It's the roughest time for everybody, right? Because you might not necessarily trust your skills, or you might overly trust your skills and think you're the best. And I got barbers that come out of school and they think that they're the best thing that ever happened to barbering. And they're not. You know what I mean? And so remain humble, remain teachable. I'm still learning. I I still learn, you know. I come up against guys that are so good. Every year there's new talent in these barber battles, and new designs and new.
No things to learn.
Yeah, and it's like there's always something to learn. If you're not that person, you're not built for my team. If you're not that person that's willing to learn or willing to push the envelope and get better,
Right.
take that somewhere else, man. You know what I mean?
Now, what would you tell barbers that are stagnant? What I mean by that is they get cut the same people all the time. They're actually getting bored with cutting hair, and it feels like just a job to them. What advice would you give them?
I've been there. I've been there, but I created something that I don't have to be behind the chair. Not the flex. I make a lot of money, and I'm making money right now talking to you guys. It wasn't about cutting hair. See, I like cutting hair. Do I love cutting hair? I think I loved it more when I first started. Maybe I had a passion. Now it's more like a habit, more like a way just to make money.
Right.
Do I have to do it? No, I don't have to. I cut 15 hours a week, but I created something that makes me money 24/7. If you're not a barber that's in it for the love of cutting the hair, then you need to find a way to make money. So don't give up. Use barber money to buy real estate. Do something else. I've seen a lot of barbers use barber money to get rich in other industries.
Right.
Because barbering is a good industry. It really is. You can make a lot of money. I remember, I think my first year, I made like $80,000 my first year.
No, that's
Now,
dope.
how hard it is to trust someone to manage like all these barbershops while you're away? Let's say you're here right now.
I'm going.
How
I'm,
hard?
I'm going away. I'm going to the islands. I'm going to Antigua, on Tuesday, and I just got back from the Caribbean a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
It's hard to trust anybody to do things the way you want them to do them. Sometimes you gotta let go of the control.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's going to get done, whether it's my way or not. Sometimes you got to live with that. And I'm not saying let somebody shit all over your business. I'm not saying let somebody ruin what you worked hard for.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have to be the guy that's like nitpicky about everything. That's what I learned to do. I said, you know what? How many times I got to tell somebody to clean up when they're not busy? They're not going to do it. Okay. So then I'm going to have to come in there on my day off and clean because they're not going to do it. You know?
Now, Out of all your barbershops, right? Which one is your favorite?
My favorite barbershop.
I mean,
Well,
it could be
it's my
location.
first one because my grandfather, I named it after my grandfather. I just, it's my first one because nothing's like your first one. But then again, I just got the opportunity to buy the bricks there.
That's what's up.
And so now I actually own that building forever if I want to. And I can give it to Lily, I can give it to my family. So that's important. So that's another thing is like knowing what you're doing with your business. You're going to pay rent? Fine, pay rent. But know that you could be building equity by owning an asset or a building. Most of my buildings are all in strip malls.
Why is that?
Well, it's because that's where people congregate and go. So, I've always made myself a destination, regardless. Like some people, they rely on the grocery store to bring customers to them. No, I went out, I handed out cards, flyers, door hangers. I did what I got to do to make myself a destination. People know that there's a grocery store because they know my barbershop.
That's that's another thing too. Like nowadays, everything with social media, people think you can just post on Instagram and customers are gonna come up.
It used to be easier. It's not anymore.
No. Now, still to this day, I'm not gonna lie. Word of mouth is probably the best way to bring customers.
Yeah, but you can't. You know how it is, but it's very hard to get somebody else to do what you want them to do when you're not with them. I would love for you guys to tell everybody about my daughter and how great I did here. You might never talk about this day ever again. So I don't know what you're gonna do, you know what I mean? But I know if I do a really good job on your haircut and I give you a very good service, chances are if I made a difference in your life, you're gonna tell somebody else. And that's how you get the word out. I also do things for my community. Like I sponsor the kids' baseball teams. I help the homeless. And they might not have money to give me for a haircut, but they can tell other people about me. Oh, I know a barbershop there and something like that. It's not always about what somebody else can do for you too. But yeah, word of mouth, any type of advertising, but the algorithm for Facebook and Instagram, I remember when I first started, you had 5,000 friends and you made a message. 5,000 friends saw it. Now it's like 20 people see it, and if you don't comment or if you don't engage with the people that are engaging with you, you got to think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then that's how you become viral.
Now I got one last question. If I will go and apply for one of your shops, let's say, what criteria or what things do I need to follow or what do I need to have as a barber to be hired in your barber?
To be honest, I never really. I'm not a strict hirer. Like I'm not. I've hired people out of jail. I've hired homeless people. For me, your motivation matters. Why do you want this? Oh, you want to feed your family. There's nothing like a man that wants to feed his family. Oh, they're gonna work hard.
Well, I agree with that. That's something that a lot of people miss. They overlook. Just because he's a nice barber, he cuts hair good, doesn't necessarily mean he's the right fit.
That too, but I've seen a lot of they're talking about me. They say this is the only competition I wasn't in. No, if you think about it, right, like you want a guy that's motivated to work hard. So for me, it's like when somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to learn," then I say, "Okay, don't waste my time. If you want to learn, I'm here at 6 a.m. every Sunday morning. Come. Oh, that's early. Oh, I guess you don't want to learn. You know, my thing is that, like, listen, man, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit for you. It's a hard world. I told my brother, my brother, when my dad died, I said nobody cares our dad died, man. Nobody cares. They're still gonna go to sleep at night, and our bills, if they're not gonna pay your bills, they don't care. Nobody cares. He was 13 years old. It was one of the best things I could ever taught him. And yeah, he's a barber too. He does great. Great.
Now, what happens, let's say you get to the point where you feel that your barbers are not motivated. You're trying to push them more than they want to be pushed.
Well, my guys are subcontract. They pay commission. I give them a key. They bring their own keys. They come and go as they please. If somebody doesn't come to work 3 Saturdays in a row because they want to go to the beach, I'm gonna replace you. I'm gonna get somebody that wants to work.
Now, how do you find all these barbers? They come to you. Like,
well,
what do you do?
I am blessed to say that I have Tyreek Jackson's screws. He opened a school a block away from the house I grew up in.
Wow.
And I taught over 40 people how to cut hair myself. I have the school. I have about 3 schools near me. So there's an abundance of barbers, and I have a big brand name. A lot of these young barbers, they know they don't need clientele to start with me. See, the thing that pisses me off, though, you tell me what you think about this, but you're a young barber, you have no clientele, you're just out of school, you barely know how to cut right, but I give you four haircuts a day to start. You don't know these people. They book through the app. They book through the website. They book through my secretary, whatever. But then you call me the next day. Hey, I'm slow. I'm only doing 4 haircuts. I say, you know what I say to that person? I said, well, why didn't you bring number 5 and number 6 in? Oh, I don't have any. Well, then why are you mad at me? You want to start on third base. You want to hit a home run without even swinging the bat. That's the problem with the new generation. They want to be millionaires, but they don't want to do millionaire work. You know, I'm up until 1 o'clock in the morning doing my books sometimes in my payroll.
And those are the things that people don't see. The only thing they see is the barber life, right? So they say, okay, I'm making money doing this and that, but then when they realize, okay, hold on, I got to go out there and bring clientele. I got to build clientele. I got to make the name for myself. Is where they call it quits, or they slow down, or they stop. You know,
Yeah.
we had this conversation before. Like sometimes social media is gonna lie to you, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you, yeah, we're charging $100 a haircut, or whatever the case is, right? But they're not gonna tell you exactly how they got to that point where they're charging $100 a haircut.
It's so funny because a lot of the guys that I used to like see at the barber battles and shit, and I used to like, oh man, he's really good. Talent wise, yeah, very good. Financially wise, probably living with his uncle in the basement, you know, in and out of jail, this, that, and the third. It's like they don't have no fucking money, but they're still deciding with a clipper company. And then I start to see, I just me putting my head down and working hard, and then talking to the right people, they're like, oh my God, how do you go away 12 times a year to the Caribbean? Oh, well, that dang, only $3,000, $5,000 each time. And then like 60,000. How do you got an extra $60,000 to go away? I said, well, that's easy. I save about $1,000 a week. How do you save it? Because I work hard. You know, it's just
that structure. That's what a lot of them don't have. And I noticed that it's more like they don't take responsibility for what they're doing. They rather point a finger and say, "Oh, you know what? The shop is slow, or this and that." But
Yeah, but what are you doing?
Exactly.
What are you doing for the shop?
You know, and a lot of people.
Why is it only on the shop owner to bring in, even in a commission base? Forget it. Commission base or rental. And rental is worse. The landlord, the landlord. The shop owner is a landlord. That's all he is. He doesn't care if you don't cut nobody. He wants his money every week. I'd much rather work a commission and know that if I don't make money, you don't make money. You want me to make money. You're gonna help me make money. So that's what I do about young barbers. Oh, you don't make. So we've been working like, I'll tell them, okay, it's funny. You can call them out on their shit. I'll say, you only did 4 haircuts today. How many times did you post on social media about being open? Oh, I didn't make a post today.
You go through that all the time.
Right.
But you said they're on the phone.
What are you doing playing video games?
You're playing video games on your phone.
No, bro.
You know what you can do? You can copy and paste. Hey, I'm a young barber in your area. Give me a call if you're interested in a haircut. I copy and paste it on any location on Instagram near you. So any mall near you, any school.
Listen, that's the same exact thing I tell them. Make a copy and paste, go to hashtag the area.
Reach out to
Whatever picture you see, send them a message. First
Even
thing
if
they're
you
going to
don't
do
know
is
what
not
to
do it. They're not going to look at it or not come. But
I don't know, man.
You're sitting around
I'd
doing
rather
nothing.
know I tried to do something than nothing at all. I wait for somebody to do it for me.
yeah, I mean, it sounds.
Yeah.
It's like deja vu. I
Well,
hate to tell you, bro. I go through the same thing all the time.
hey, listen, give credit to some of the young barbers. They have the talent. Maybe they don't have the social. Some of them are social anxiety. There's a lot of young guys, especially your age, like maybe even younger. They're afraid to be embarrassed. Me, I have no shame. I don't give a shit.
You know, that's the other thing. You got to get past that point
Yes.
when you're worried about what people think.
I don't care. Do you know how many people said no to me? You know how many people shut the door in my face?
Who cares?
Who cares? One person's gonna open the door. You keep trying, one person's gonna open the door.
That's what's all about, having faith and going out there and getting.
All right, go, man. So listen, guys.
Yeah.
Sal from Sal's Barbershop, owner of 10 barbershops. Dropping gems, man. You just gotta listen, pay attention, go out there, get your clientele, stop being lazy.
Yeah, stop trying to be like industry famous barbers. Do me a favor. Come to a competition. Come to education at that competition. Watch some of the guys that are on the stage doing the new trends. Learn something. Then try it yourself.
Classes. Let me ask you a question. You do classes too, right? You do seminars and things like that.
I help people all the time. Listen, I'll tell you right now. You DM me and you say, "Hey, I need help." I don't care if I never met you before. I'm one of them guys that like, I'm not gonna send you money, but if you want to talk, you want to ask me like how to open up a barbershop or something. I've helped people all across the United States open up barbershops. Big names too, people that I don't want to put their business out there. Big names and that everybody knows I helped open up barbershops.
That's what's up. That's crazy.
Their first
That's big. That's big.
Doing stuff without even expecting anything to return.
No. I don't need that. What I want is the industry to continue to grow. And I want people to mentor barbers like my grandfather mentored me, and I mentored my daughter. And she's going to mentor people too one day.
Yeah, man, like that's something. I have my son working in the shop now too.
Yeah, it's
He's
something
been doing
else.
it for 2 years competing. I mean, it's great, you know. He's just a little cocky, but
yeah, they all are.
But this is how it goes, man.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, don't be afraid if they get better than you too, because I think my brother's better than me already. Yeah, I hope Lily's better than me one day.
All right, man, but we're gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
get at Sal's Barbershop.
Thanks, guys.
You guys are always
Sal,
going to
thank
see him
you.
out there.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Competing and getting on stage. Y'all be safe.
Appreciate you guys.